Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands. I want to talk a little bit more about enlightenment, fundamental well-being, okayness, non-symbolic consciousness, whatever it is you want to call it, okay? I usually use enlightenment or the big okay, as a messaging. So that's how I talk about it. I'm not really set up here to provide you with a simple path to that. First of all, people are variable. You know, the right message at the right time and the right words can really pop you over or uplift your life or show you new bliss or just completely do the enlightenment game on you. So there's that, you know, and I'm providing some messages, maybe in the right words, maybe at the right time for some people. And that's really fantastic. We need lots of people doing lots of this. You know, there's no one truth. There's no one guru. There's no actually, guru is a concept that doesn't translate very well to the West. We're not very good at that. It's not how our society is structured. You know, we're too honestly, we're too egalitarian for it. So that's kind of interesting. For all that our religions are dogmatic and hierarchical, we are, in America, largely too egalitarian for guruism. So I think that's an interesting thing. I have been providing exercises, outlooks, positivity, and I'm going to continue doing that. I think that's super important. That's a really big deal. And, you know, walking meditation, momentary meditation, giving yourself permission to relax, giving yourself permission to be okay. Forgiveness of yourself, I need to talk about that more. Transforming past memories when they come up to love, to positivity. Developing your internal positivity, because all of that's inside you. The meaning, you start with meaning. You assign meaning to things, and then the object comes. It's very interesting how our psychology works, but we're in charge of the meaning and the emotion and everything. And programming your mind to uplift that and to make it more positive, I'm here to help with that. Totally. Contact me if you need help beyond the videos. No problem there. That's what we're doing. If you want the fastest, bestest, most foolproof, not completely foolproof, most foolproof way to go about doing the enlightenment thing, I would suggest going and doing the 45 Days to Awakening course. Just hands down, absolutely fantastic. You have to be diligent. You have to do 45 days. It's going to be an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours on a few days of work every day for 45 days. It's super cool. There's lots of little exercises and stuff, and it's very variable and condensed. And you can do it and achieve a breakthrough. And whether that breakthrough is temporary or permanent, it's there. It helps. You know, it's great to experience it. Just experiencing it even for a moment will help you with the rest of your life. So a lot of what I'm providing is background baseline tools. That can actually work. You know, you can go to enlightenment with the big pop, the big explosion. You're out of your head. That happened to me. Like, poof, you're out of your head. And everything is just completely turned up to 11. The volume knob on life is turned up to 11 for a while, and then it fades back down. These things go in cycles. The okayness can be in the background or it can be in the foreground, you know, and it does go through cycles. I was on a down cycle a couple days ago, and I had to really work on remembering myself. I say that a lot, remembering myself to get back to my bliss. But these techniques that I'm talking about, the basic stuff, the walking meditation, the momentary meditation, the short meditations, the permission to relax, the telling yourself a different story, setting up a different narrative if you still have narrative, or you know, turning off the music, turning off some of the inputs so that you can be in the present moment, or not having words in your music, like just listening to music with no words. Let your brain calm down a little bit, you know. That stuff all can lead to enlightenment as a background process. You wake up one day and you realize that all that stuff you've been doing has just led you to be kind of imperturbable and everything's okay. No matter how bad it is, everything's okay. That's really cool. You know, about the only thing that can get me riled up with stress right now is money issues. And that, you look at it and you realize that I personally could live out of a backpack and wander around and be okay. That helps with the money issues, especially helps you place the proper importance on them. That's about the only thing I've got for that level of trigger. It's kind of amazing to be there, So I'm working on giving you baseline tools, helping you with baseline tools. I want to help you with the influences and the positivity. This is one of the things that I have learned over the last couple of years, is that exposing yourself to more of it is the best thing you can do. Just listen to enlightenment people give talks, dude. Listen to their TED Talks, listen to their podcasts, the interviews, listen to their tapes, listen to stuff that's just uplifting and positive. Listen to people talk about, all the positive stuff in humanity, the huge leaps forward that we've made in the last 50 years that are just so amazing. Positive. Listen to it. It doesn't make you silly. It doesn't make you stupid. It doesn't make you unable to deal with reality like changing the oil in your car. You just can enjoy the process of doing it and realize that the positivity is inside you. You owe it to yourself. You earn it yourself. You give it to yourself. You grace yourself with it. It is inside of you. All the stresses and all the negativities that come from outside, they're not required. It doesn't take a negative, stressful response to any situation to deal with it seriously. In fact, a positive attitude and outlook is at the core of dealing with things properly. Positive doesn't necessarily mean optimism. Acceptance. Accept the reality that is, and then be positive about your ability to deal with it. That's definitely a thing. So some people would call this realism. Some people would call this pragmatism, but it's not quite, because pragmatism has a couple other philosophical elements. So do the stuff. Reach out. That is such a modern phrase. Reach out. That's one of the ones I don't like using. Somehow it got in my head. Contact me if you want help. Go listen to other people. Listen to this concept. Listen to the positive messages. The positive messages are a really big deal. I try to keep them going as positive, and sometimes I have to express things in my head that don't necessarily sound positive right away. So there's that, deal with that. But uplift. Manage your stuff so that you're uplifted, so that you're positive, so you stay positive. And find social spaces to do that. Twitter's not a really good area for that, although it can be controlled, and I've been controlling it, manipulating it, and making it better. So there's that. That works. Skype or Zoom calls with your friends who are outside of spaces, that's a good one. Group meetings is something I would really like to get into more. I've done several that were very positive, and I've done several that were positive except for the mandatory negativity that everyone has to subscribe to, climate crisis or political crisis or something, as a badge of belonging. You got to avoid that part. Can you get the positive part without the negative part? That's something to look at. I'd like to see some community organized retreats going on. I think that's a possibility we have. I'd like to look at that more. But if you're unable to do this in person, or to have your groups of people structure each other into some sharing time where you're just like, hey, we're going to hang out and talk positive. Structure some rules around that, like don't talk over people, acknowledge things, don't hog the mic, whatever. There's ways to do this. Notice that all of those were kind of phrased negatively. That's something to think about, is how to phrase it positively. Give everyone time, take your appropriate amount of time, stop when you need to stop, stuff like that. That's all really cool. Let people have their importances. That's one of the things I've noticed people have a problem with, is if they're really, really stuck on attention and don't get enough, they will take what you're saying and make it them, make it their story and make it more, more look at me. So that's a thing. I think we could control for that in a social environment and structure things in kind of a sharing. It becomes almost like a liturgical or religious thing where you have, give your testimony. That's so, I have so many memories I still have to work through and turn positive about giving your testimony. But it's a thing, have ways of interacting, learn ways of interacting with people that are positive, and definitely watch the TED Talks, watch the videos, keep positive, get the momentary stuff, get the stuff in your day. I'm going to keep getting repetitive on this over the course of the next several weeks of videos because I've got to remind you of stuff. Do stuff and things happen, the core message there. Stuff like that. And what I want you to do is listen. I'm going to try to shorten the format a little bit and keep it positive. Listen to the positive messages. Let it put you in the positive space. Go do something with it, Reinforce that program. Relax. Give yourself permission to relax. Go take a minute after this video. Relax. Breathe it out. Feel the tension leave. Give yourself a couple minutes. Go do that now. Stay sideways.